Hello, your favorite average vlogger coming at you with some thoughts. So I know for 2021 I made a vision board. I love vision boards. I love the idea of saying things, manifesting them for 2021. I don't know if anyone else felt this, but the first week of 2021 was actually awful. I felt sad, I felt hopeless, I felt anxious. I felt really, really anxious. So I spent a lot of time this past weekend thinking, just kind of thinking about different ways, like why am I feeling anxious? Like why don't I feel hopeful towards this new year anymore? Why am I already being like, all right, let's go, 2022. And so I did a lot of things this weekend. I organized and cleaned and got rid of clutter and tried to do yoga again, read my book, go for walks. I organized my budgeting and all my bills and like started tracking my expenses, made an accordion folder. Honestly, don't regret that. That was a good idea. That I'm excited for that. I don't know what it is about adulthood, but suddenly I'm like, yes, budgeting queen. But yeah, I was just like not feeling great. And then I went to church today and I listened to Father Terry, and what he said, I think a lot of people can benefit from hearing, even if you're not religious, even if you think it's like, who's Father Terry? Doesn't matter. Honestly, Father Terry doesn't have a YouTube channel, so that's why I'm here to speak on behalf of Father Terry about what he said. But he talked all about identity and how, you know, when you think about your identity, putting it into worldly things is giving them all of the power. So for example, let's say your identity, I know for me, like a big part, I think of my identity is my career and where I'm going in my future. And I put a lot of power to that idea of my job. And I think that's putting so much power then and then resulting in a lot of pressure on me. Because you can't really identify as your career. That's such a worldly thing. Like if you identify as your career, like where are you going in this world? Like I know like in college, a lot of people identified with grades and with getting good grades and being a good student. And that's your identity? Like, is that really all you have? Like everyone is so complicated and made up in such intricate and wonderful ways to think that you're just your grades. And I really liked how he said, like, it's just about, you're giving it power over you then. Like you are giving this worldly thing power over you. So if your identity is in your Instagram game and like how cohesive your feed is looking and your feed interaction, you're just giving now the social media app power over you. And what happens is when we give these type of things power, it just results into a game of comparison, game of irritability, not understanding, anxiety, all of these things, because we're putting our thoughts and all of our energy into things that, if you think about the grand scheme of things, don't really matter. Or I think we've seen a lot of people recently putting identity in politics. And it's like these things that we're identifying as, you know, it's not that they're not important, right? It's not that we shouldn't strive for good grades or career ambition or to have our country be unified and successful and support everyone. No, it's not that. Those are important, but we're losing who we are as humans to our core. And the reality is, you know, my identity is in my faith. It's in my relationship with God. Like that's what I identify as. And so when I go through struggles or when I go through my everyday life, like I know that that's what I'm relying on. Like that is my core. That's my foundation. And by having that strong foundation, then as a result, the other things will fall more into place. And I believe that even if you don't have a faith, even if you just believe, or if you do have a faith and it's just a different religion, it's just the idea that we're so much more than this. You know, we're so much more than this career. We're so much more than the social media apps portray. Our society is run on the idea of productivity is validating you as a person. The more productive you are, the more that you're achieving, the more of a person that you are. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Because if you think about it, like the moments where you're probably the happiest or you're at the most at peace, like you reflect on those moments, what brings you joy, I have a feeling it's not any of those moments being the productive or the career. Now, don't get me wrong, like I think like my accordion folder that I made, productivity at its finest. And it makes me very happy. But it's not real happiness. Like that's not really what keeps me going. It's not my budget accordion folder is what's keeping me sane. That's not it at all. I don't know, I guess I just really needed to hear those words, to hear that I was more than my job. I was more than being the fun 23-year-old that I am. I mean, that's a great asset, of course. That's a great asset, but no, I'm more than that. And that's not my identity. That this isn't my world, because maybe those things power over you will make you lose sight of the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is love, right? It's being kind to one another. It's showing empathy, compassion toward every person that you meet, all walks of life. And it's to spending time with people in person, obviously, so that's in person, difficult times, Zoom maybe. But being surrounded by those that you love and understanding that this life is so temporary that if we put all of our worth and our value into these things and we identify as that and specifically only that, what an unfulfilling life. Trust me, when I'm talking to this camera, I'm really talking to myself, because I need to be able to step back and say, all right, I get it. We're bigger than this. And I just think that that's what I hope for 2021, is I want to focus on the word identity. I will add it into my vision board. I will write it just in the very middle in black Sharpie. I'm not very artistic. I'm going to write the word identity, because I don't want my identity to be in these things that are just so unfulfilling. I want my identity to be in Christ and in the idea that I am a small piece to a very large puzzle. And I'm going to choose joy and happiness and love, and remember above all else that I am human. Anyways, yeah, I know my only subscribers really are my friends, family, and then my sister's friends. Shout out to Lucy's friends. I really appreciate your support always. But I don't know, I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys that, because those were on my mind and I felt the need to say it. And again, Father Terry doesn't have a YouTube channel, so I'm taking the words he told to me today that spoke to me, and I think right now are very relatable in this world and in the start of this new year. So maybe 2021, we could all think about our identity and what it really means, what we really want to add to this world. And I want to continue to giggle and talk about pop culture and fun things, and to post silly, average vlogging YouTube videos, because it does bring me joy. But still, average vlogger, not my identity. I'm a lot more than that. At least I like to think so. But do not worry, we're gonna get to our regular scheduled programming. I have a Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde vlog coming out soon, because I have a lot of thoughts. I've been letting them simmer. But I hope that maybe this can inspire you, or maybe it's just something that you needed to hear, a friendly reminder, because I know that it was something I needed to hear.